I remember when my self-help journey started very clearly. I had never done any type of work before. I had hit a rock bottom. Probably now, I guess about 3.5 years ago. I had started therapy, but I was performing for my therapist. I wasn't actually speaking about the things that I was struggling with. I was trying to make my therapist think that I was awesome. We all do that. I did it for 6 months, spent a good amount of money pretending that I was awesome. And then I got a really kind of, I hate to say basic because it's not basic. It's a simple explanation from an author named Mark Manson called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a You-Know-What. Bestseller, totally get it. I was just at my wit's end. I was getting new tires put on my car that were expensive. I had just hit this rock bottom. I was struggling mentally, and I bought a Kindle and I downloaded that book. There's a lot of lessons in that book that hit me quickly, and I want to talk about them because even though they might be simple concepts, they're not that simple. And the more that I did the work and the more depth I went into those concepts through teachings that have been around for thousands of years, he really did a good job of giving you the meat and potatoes of it. And one of the things that he talked about was the do something principle. And I've done a lot of research on this do something principle since, and I've listened to a lot of podcasts of creatives, of business people, of entrepreneurs, of anybody that's trying to make something. And the do something principle is easy. As a creative, you just sit down and start. And if you can create that habit of just starting, you're going to at least do something, make something, the do something principle. It may not be what you wanted it to be and sit down and make this perfect, beautiful thing that's going to live on in eternity, but it might be. Or it might just be average, or it might lead you to somewhere else. And one of the things that I've struggled with is procrastination because I want it to be perfect. I want to sit down and have the concept done, and I sit there for 3 hours and I'm finished and it's this beautiful, shiny thing and I'm done. Creativity doesn't work that way, and I've had to learn that the hard way because I've made songs in my past that were really beautiful representation of where I was at the time emotionally and mentally, and I've always believed that songwriting for me was capturing where I was in my life so that when I look back on it I can really enjoy, I remember that emotion, I remember that feeling, I remember that person, I remember that writing session. And there are songs that I never really finished because I didn't have the discipline. And then when I went back and I had the discipline to finish them, I'm like, man, my heart's not there anymore. Like I don't feel that anymore. Like I've moved into a different space. So the do something principle to me really is a beautiful way of sitting down and just starting. A lot of people use this concept. One of my favorites, Jordan Peterson, talks about this a lot. As a writer, he's like, you may get one paragraph that's good out of 1,000 that you do in 3 hours. But if that one paragraph is a spark to something else, it's worth it. And not only that, is you're exercising your creative muscles. And I want to talk more about that as we move forward with some different videos about there are certain days where you're going to sit down and you're not creative. Well, what can you do to help your creativity? And we're going to talk about that a bit too. But the do something principle, I urge you to employ it, whether it's at nighttime for a few hours, whether it's you just tell yourself, okay, I'm going to do something for 10 minutes. You know what happens? You get into it, and 10 minutes turns into an hour. 10 minutes turns into 2 hours. And I get some of you have children, or some of you have other obligations and stuff like that, but if you can find a space where you can just start something and know that you have a couple hours, you may start for 10 minutes and it doesn't feel right, and you go into something else, which we're going to talk about soon, but you may find a way that this just triggers a beautiful trigger, not the triggers we've talked about in the past, that create emotions that are from traumas. We're talking about it triggers a beautiful space where you can get into that flow state. But you have to put yourself in the position to get into flow. You don't just magically snap your fingers and you're in flow. You have to start. You have to start those brainwaves at alpha and take them down while you're doing something, and then all of a sudden you're off to the races. So keep that in mind as you plan your week, as you plan your tomorrow, as you plan your evening. Do something. Thanks, Mark Manson, for that wonderful book, and thank you for that idea. And I urge you all to check out the book, It's a great book. There's some really wonderful things in there, and I'm really grateful that he wrote it because it was the start of my self-help journey personally, and it's led me to where I am now, and I'm really, really excited with that. So peace and love, and I'll talk to you soon.